How many Hulk characters can you put in a Captain America movie before it's a Hulk movie?
Yeah, I know.
With the founding member and president of the Hulk Haters Club now answering to President Ross, you might think the New World Order has something up its green sleeves, and you might be right. A fourth Captain America movie is well underway, with Sam Wilson carrying the shield on the big screen for the first time. But when you look down the cast list, something jumps out almost immediately. There is a heaping helping of Hulk characters that are making up the roster. Granted, General cum Secretary, now President Ross has managed to make himself everyone's worst allied enemy. As just General Ross, he tried to prevent the Hulk from joining the team, instead pitching Abomination for the role of tank in the group. That is, until they sent in the consultant from the Marvel one-shot of the same name. Coulson's clever plan of sending Tony Stark in to annoy Ross, yeah? Then he capitalizes on some unfortunate collateral damage to make a power move to wrestle control of the Avengers, causing a split among them. I mean, he had a way better case with Sokovia, seeing as Tony and Bruce made Ultron in the first place.
As a worst case measure, right?
Where Wanda only, managed to save some people, but bumming Wanda out had its own set of consequences. When last we saw him outside Tony's funeral, he was still trying to have the rogue heroes arrested in the face of yet another even more powerful alien invasion. But you never forget your first hate crush. And for Ross, that's nerd-turned-rage machine that used to date his daughter, Bruce Banner. Ross first appeared in Hulk issue 1 in the comics, and until very recently, he was the only character who carried over from the Incredible Hulk with the same actor. Joining old Thunderbolt, now portrayed by Harrison Ford, making him already the world's toughest fictional American president, Samuel Stearns will be returning as the baddie in his new form, the Leader. Essentially, the Leader is the answer to the question, what if Hulk making gamma radiation hit the brain instead of the muscles? The answer, you get a 15 head and lots of evil plans. Not being a Pet Shop Boys fan, he never knew the money-making potential of someone with brains and someone with brawn, and instead has dedicated his amazing intellect to doing bad stuff.
I see this as an absolute win.
Usually to the Hulk. But wait, we're not done stacking Hulk characters into this otherwise Captain America movie. Liv Tyler will be returning as Betty Ross, Banner's old flame. No word yet on the last partner that she was with, Doc Samson. The only Hulk character that we have not heard of being in the movie is the big guy himself, Mark Ruffalo.
Hey, Tony.
But that omission might be down to New World Order being a prelude to the beatdown that we've all wanted to see once the Hulk joined the shared universe. World War Hulk, or Hulks, or both. Come on, let's see how that plays out. Ultimately, the Marvel Universe has been in a quasi-Cold War with the Hulk. On one hand, he's managed to save the day, but he's just as likely to ruin the day. Mostly because the Hulk is motivated primarily by a desire to be left alone by the people who fear him. The event that kicked off World War Hulk in the comics was the Illuminati, that group of elite superheroes that got tore up by the super angry Scarlet Witch. Yeah, they decided to head off that threat with the Hulk and yeeted him off into space in the hopes of making him someone else's problem. In the MCU, Bruce in Hulk form tried to retire from that superhero life by aiming his Quinjet into the second star on the left, but got picked up by Valkyrie.
He's mine.
Who had taken up gathering champions for the Game Master to support her drinking hobby. In the comics, this led to Planet Hulk, where he became the champion of Sakar's gladiator tournaments. A version of this story happened in Thor Ragnarok, and there's a reason that Hulk movies happen under the banner of other superheroes, but we'll get to that later. It all ended badly when circumstances led to Hulk's wife and unborn child being lost when their ship exploded. At the end of She-Hulk, we find out that Hulk's time on Sakaar was not just gladiator fights and playing with his best angry girl, he also fathered Scar, his child in the comics as well. We already know that when comic book storylines are adapted to the MCU, they are more suggested by than direct translations. It was Wanda's incident that sparked a civil war, not a superhero reality show team. And the dispute was ultimately the manipulations of the super soldier hating Baron Zemo. since the only Illuminati that the MCU has known so far took an L against Wanda on a rampage, an MCU World War Hulk needs another catalyst, and a Captain America movie is the best place for it. One of the biggest driving forces in the MCU is the quest to replicate the serum that gave the world the Star-Spangled Man with the plan. Bruce Banner became the Hulk under pressure from then General Ross to recreate the super soldier serum. All of the Captain America movies have revolved around the quest for super soldiers in one way or another. The first, obviously, was Steve getting the juice and then fighting the first guy to get it, the Red Skull. The Winter Soldier introduced the MCU to Hydra's Super Soldier 2.0 in the form of Steve's childhood bestie, Bucky Barnes. Civil War, while overall focusing on the Avengers falling apart, was driven by Baron Zemo's desire to destroy Hydra's super soldiers and then use Bucky's role in creating them by assassinating Tony Stark's parents and stealing Steve's blood. Falcon and the Winter Soldier focused on a new batch of super soldiers, this time fighting for housing and food in the wake of the blip ending and half the world's population returning as quickly as they left. And wait a second, let me reflect on what I just said to you. Wait, those were the bad guys? Anyway, it stands to reason that Ross has not gotten over his super soldier fetish, despite both Bruce and Emil going wrong. As President Ross, he now has unencumbered access to perhaps the only person in the universe who would know more about gamma-induced powers, Samuel Stern. Isaiah Bradley, the poster child for how unethical the search for a new super soldier is, will also be appearing in New World Order. While New World Order may not be a stealth Hulk movie, it has all the elements of a Hulk prequel, with Sam uncovering the president's plan to use the leader to hedge against his growing Hulk problem. If there's one thing that Bruce Banner takes very seriously, it's that there should not be more Hulks. So naturally, he fathered one and then accidentally turned his cousin into another one. Not only that, but said cousin went and used her lawyer powers to get Emil Blonsky paroled. Chances are that Bruce knew this was coming, at least with Scar. After all, he already had his Hulk training manual ready before Walters got a vein full of the magic green stuff. He was already referring to the idea of being a Hulk as a condition, and not just a him. That's probably because he was in contact with the son he left on Sakaar, which is also why he was so casual about a Sakaarian vessel showing up on Earth. With 3 Hulks walking the Earth, Ross is going to be leaning on that Hulk panic button. In the comics, this has led to not only Ross, but Betty as well taking on an altered version of the Dose, turning them into Red Hulk and Red She-Hulk. While Ragnarok was also a Planet Hulk movie, New World Order is not poised to be a stealth Hulk movie. This is Sam's first time carrying the shield on the big screen, and having Banner pull focus would undermine the character. Also, most notably, of all the Hulk characters appearing in New World Order, the Hulk is not one of them. Ruffalo so far does not appear to have a role in the movie, so if he does show up, it's likely in the form of a post-credits scene. There's already a bit of heavy lifting we know that this movie has to do, and that's set up Thunderbolts, a movie that's been cast and is on the schedule. Thunderbolts is currently set to debut in July of 2024, 2 months after New World Order. There is only speculation so far on who the baddie for that movie will be, with heavy speculation leaning on either Sentry or Null, or at least a Null surrogate. It's not likely that we'd see the Hulk rise as the bad guy there, but it could be the reveal of Ross as the Red Hulk. If indeed the Thunderbolts villain is on the scale of someone like Sentry, that might be too much for the roster that we know of. That includes Yelena, the current Black Widow, 3 super soldiers in the form of Red Guardian, US Agent, and Bucky, Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Taskmaster. This might force Ross's hand to take on a compromised version of the serum the leader was working on. The question then would be, when does Ross do the Hulk family wrong? And if New World Order and Thunderbolts aren't secretly World War Hulk movies, then what is? It's pretty well known at this point that the reason we have not gotten a solo Hulk movie since The Incredible Hulk is a distribution deal made by Marvel Studios before they were consumed by media giant Disney. Under that deal, any movie with Hulk as a headliner, Universal gets the rights of first refusal in regards to distribution. Sony Spider-Man deals aside, Disney does not like to share. So we get stealth Hulk movies like Ragnarok. But that deal might be sunsetting soon. And the deal between Marvel and both Paramount and Universal. That filing indicates that it expires after 15 years, which is coming up. Marvel could be setting up the triumphant return of the big screen wrecking machine to the fold by using New World Order and Thunderbolts as a prelude to an as of yet unannounced movie. It might also be that a formal announcement before the deal expires would put it back in Universal's court. If the scheduling shuffle allows an as of yet unannounced World War Hulk movie to hit theaters, it has the same potential role as Captain America Civil War had during the Infinity Saga. After the events of Age of Ultron, Civil War broke the team apart, making them all more vulnerable when Thanos arrived. Kang has already appeared, first as the variant He Who Remains and then as the Conqueror in Quantumania. He's set to appear as Victor Timely, at least in the second season of Loki, but while he seems to be gathering his various selves, there is still room for Earth's defenders to turn on each other before Kang establishes his dynasty. It might have the effect of sidelining the Hulk again for the big bat of a saga, but it does set the Hulks up to be a key part of Secret Wars. The most enticing prospect of a pending World War Hulk is the return of Savage Hulk. While it seems like they're setting up 2015's Secret Wars event, it still increases the potential of Reed Richards insulting the Hulk while he holds up a literal mountain like he did in the original event.